Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at BANJUL. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm welcome to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Dado Cham. In the headlines tonight, Gambia Transport Union threatened to react if government does not give them their seized trucks. U.S. government donates a vital sanitation supply to KANIFING Municipal Council. Operation 100,000 face masks initiative trading in BANJUL. And international scene, soldiers promise to hold new election in Mali. South Africa warns a COVID-19 crisis could destroy tourism industry. U.S. Democrats formally nominate Joe Biden to take on Donald Trump. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details. The Gambia Transport Union expressed frustration over 19 of their trucks that have been seized while covering timber, indicating that for over 3 months, Senegalese soldiers had the trucks unlawfully, and the Brikama Magistrate Court made an order for the vehicles to be released, while the matter of the timber continued before the court. But since 16 July to date, those vehicles are still in custody. The union urged the government to release the trucks or face strong retaliation.
Over almost 19 vehicles are under custody by Senegalese forces at Kanilai. According to them, those vehicles are doing illegal transportation on timbers. Over 3 to 4 months, the vehicle under our custodies. We reached to the authorities concerned. We lodged a complaint to them. After then, the government put the matter before the court. So those vehicle owners or the drivers are pleading guilty. The court fined them and charged them, each of them different fines and 1 month's imprisonment. So as of now, all of them pay their fine to the Minister of Justice. On the 16th July 2020, court made an order so that they can release 19 vehicles. But up to date, those vehicles are under custody. We are discussing. I went there several occasions, 2 times at the PM, so that I can discuss with them how to release those vehicles, but I don't see any way forward. I read to the authority concern, I discussed with them, but I see it's very important to come out to put our position on this. Because as a Gambian, we cannot sit here, our court make order, somebody or non-Gambian refuse that order. For me, that's an insult for everybody. We are not against anyone, but we want to be, our judiciary needs to be respected.
Meanwhile, the union president said drivers in the country are encountering pain over an economic checkpoint in Biam, highlighting that the checkpoint was causing accident, as he called on the government to look into it.
Since 2017, the checkpoint has been put in there. For us as transport union, we see the location of the checkpoint is totally dangerous. It's not a strategic location. It's not, advised by the, road safety measures. The nature of the checkpoint is too critical. So we reach to the authorities concerned so that we can look that matter proper and see how to protect our life, protect our properties. I think this is very important for road safety. But up to 2017, up to date, we don't see any significant development on those areas. Over 10 accidents occur there. Properties have been damaged. Somebody property have been vandalized. All those accidents, thank God we don't receive any casualty, but it can be happen. Those people are all innocent. They are all doing their legal journeys, their legal ways. So as transport union, we cannot sit here as an organization. We see and our members, send rights have been vandalized, they have been victimized, unnecessary situation. Look at the nature of the checkpoint. Are you living in a war zone? So that's the only strategy. Government can stop these locks. That's the only strategy. No, this is not a good strategy. I think government will do this matter properly. More than 10 accidents have been occurred there. All these accidents, our drivers, their properties have been damaged. The goods and carried have been damaged. Some drivers have, injuries. But nothing came out of it up to date. So we cannot swallow this again. Government need to do something about it. Look at our government police officers. Look at our government military officers. Are they mounted this type of checkpoints? Go to Casamas here. Are you seeing this type of checkpoint there? Go to West Africa here. Are you seeing this type of checkpoint here? Why Gambia? The smiling coast of Africa? No. No. We say no to this. Government, you give assurance to us. You will do something on this. Do something on this. We are not against anyone, but we are protecting our life and properties. We have the right to do that. Look at the nature of the checkpoint. It's on the bend, on the hill. Why our government security officer, they are not used to do this type of checkpoint? Because of, he can create accidents. I know they are sure they are very professional. That's why we are not used to this. So government, change your modalities.
The United States Ambassador Pascal indicated that his country remained committed to supporting countries in their fight against the global COVID-19 pandemic, including the Gambia. He said this while handing over $765,000 worth of sanitation supplies to KANIFING Municipal Council to support their efforts to combat the virus. Binta Koli reports.
The supplies were purchased using funds donated by U.S. Department of Defense in partnership with the United States Agency for International Development. These important resources will help KMC respond and to prevent further spread of COVID-19 virus. All attendees at this event wore face masks, practice proper hand hygiene, and follow safe distancing best practices. Ambassador Pascal thanked the leadership of KANIFING Municipal Council upon delivery of the items. He said, "We at the American Embassy are proud to partner with the Council to support your efforts to support your citizens as they battle the novel coronavirus. We are reminded at these times that this is a small planet, that we are all brothers and sisters and must all work together to solve problems like this." Deputy Mayor Musa Bah expressed his gratitude for the support. The donation to the KANIFING Municipal Council is one of many small-scale programs supporting the Gambia's effort to stop the spread of COVID-19. The U.S. government continues to lead the global response to COVID-19. The United States had allocated $12.5 billion to benefit the international COVID-19 response. For Star TV News, I am Binta Koli.
Banjul City Council, under the leadership of Mayor Rohi Malik Low, received 500 face masks from Mr. Modu Musanjai of Halfdai as part of his effort to complement the laudable initiative initiated by the City Council. Mariama Dem files in this report.
The City Council authorities also received hospital materials such as wheelchairs, crutches, bed seats, pillowcases, and chairs from Caesar's Charity Foundation under the leadership of Mrs. Cisemane Joseph, a Gambian based in Great Britain. Mayor Law has reached out to the Gambian Diaspora Healthcare Initiative to help raise funds to locally purchase good quality face masks for families to control, reduce, and hopefully eradicate COVID-19. And the goal is to buy 100,000 face masks. Meanwhile, as part of the Council's efforts to suppress the spread of COVID-19, Professional Client Services (PCS), under the leadership of Mr. Omadijara, fumigated the entire premises of the Council. After seeing all the positive initiatives towards curbing the pandemic by the City Council, my business deemed it necessary to complement their efforts, said Mr. Jara. The Deputy Mayor of Banjul, on behalf of the Mayor and team, thanked both CSS Foundation and PCS for such a laudable initiative and urged others to emulate. Together we can fight against this common threat, COVID-19. Mariam Adem, reporting for Star TV News.
Well, those were the local stories. We will be back with the international news after the short break.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at BANJUL. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
And now, beyond our borders, soldiers in Mali have forced President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta to resign. Military leaders say they will form a transitional civilian-led government and organize what they call credible election. The West Africa Regional Bloc ECOWAS has condemned the coup. In the coming hours, the UN Security Council will meet to discuss the crisis. Al Jazeera Chelsea Strafford reports.
Soldiers guard the residence of Mali's President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta in the capital Bamako. He and Prime Minister Boubou Sese were detained here on Tuesday. As rumours of a coup spread, President Keïta appeared on state television announcing his resignation.
I want no blood to be spilled to keep me in power, and that's why I would like to thank the Malian people for their warmth. I am telling you now that I'm resigning from my position as the president and all my other positions, and I announce the dissolution of the assembly and the government.
West African bloc ECOWAS responded forcefully to the coup, isolating Mali through border closures, suspending financial flows, and called for sanctions against coup organisers and their supporters. Speaking on state television, coup leaders say they're acting in the country's best interests.
People of Mali, we are not holding on to power, but we are holding on to the stability of the country, which will allow us to organise within an agreed reasonable time frame general elections to equip Mali with strong institutions which are able to better manage our everyday lives and restore confidence between the government and the governed.
Many Malians welcomed the coup. Crowds frustrated with the president and his government spurred the soldiers on. Some ransacked and burned government offices.
We have come out today to call for the total resignation of President Keïta because we heard there were shots fired by the military, and we've come out to help our soldiers get rid of the president.
We are tired. The country is paralysed, and I do not want this government.
The soldiers began their mutiny at a base on the outskirts of Bamako, the same base that saw a 2012 army uprising that opened the way to Keïta's presidency. Heavily armed troops were later seen escorting a vehicle believed to be carrying the president.
We're very happy because this is a liberation for the people of Mali. All of Mali's people were waiting for this day. All of Mali's people were waiting for the president and his men to allow us to breathe.
Keïta has faced weeks of opposition protests calling for his departure after disputed parliamentary elections earlier this year. Much of the country is already outside the control of the government that's struggled to contain an armed insurgency that's claimed thousands of lives. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
South Africa's government has warned that the coronavirus crisis could cost the jobs of 400,000 workers, and that is just in the tourism industry. 5 months of lockdown restriction are being eased, but the tourism industry could take years to recover. Jazila Fasmuda Miller have more from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Lucky Madi relies on tourists to Vilakazi Street in Soweto to make a living. The car park attendant still comes to work during one of the world's longest lockdowns, but business is quiet. He applied to the government's COVID relief fund for a grant of $20 a month, but says he's not received anything.
There's dancers, there's people who sell stuff. It's quiet, very quiet. And I'm also thinking about those people, with what's happening about them. They're also hungry like me.
Vilakazi Street was once home to former President Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. The area usually bustles with tourists and students on school tours. 5 months into South Africa's lockdown, it's deserted. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, up to 400 customers a day from all over the world would visit this restaurant, which specializes in traditional food. Now, its owner says he's lucky if he sees a handful of customers a day. He hopes the easing of lockdown restrictions and the resumption of alcohol sales, even if limited to certain hours, will boost business.
For us, it's been difficult because we used to sell buffet before. And for us to change from the buffet setup to be an a la carte or off-sales place, the adjustment was quite difficult and made us to lay off about 90 people to stay at home instead of the 110 we normally have.
South Africa's Revenue Service says the ban on cigarette and alcohol sales cost the economy almost $600 million in tax revenue and affected thousands of jobs. South Africa has an official unemployment rate of about 30%. The government had hoped to use the tourism industry to boost the economy and create jobs. But with tourist attractions deserted for months, more job losses are feared. The government says about 400,000 jobs in the tourist industry alone could be lost. As South Africa's borders remain closed, it's hoped domestic tourism will pick up.
We've estimated that it's going to take us about 2 years to actually recover to 2019 level, pre-COVID levels. And that's, again, going to be start to kind of how we build confidence in traveling around the world.
While many are celebrating the easing of the months of restrictions, others don't know when they'll be busy again. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
The U.S. Democratic Party has formally nominated former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden as its presidential nominee. It happens on the second night of its national convention, with it being held virtually because of the coronavirus. He will give his acceptance speech in his home state of Delaware on Thursday. Al Jazeera Alan Fisher reports from Washington, D.C.
This was the moment Joe Biden officially became the Democratic Party's nominee for the President of the United States. Traditional convention, the roll call is an important set piece, and doing it virtually this time, they made it slick and polished.
It's showtime!
This was a night to show the past and the future. There were contributions from former President Jimmy Carter, former presidential nominee John Kerry, and Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, an influential figure on the progressive wing of the party and considered a rising star. There was also an appearance from Bill Clinton, the former president, who's lit up conventions in the past, given just 5 minutes this time, but still getting his message across.
At a time like this, the Oval Office should be a command center. Instead, it's a storm center. There's only chaos.
It's 20 years since Bill Clinton was president. On Wednesday, he'll celebrate his 74th birthday, and he'll still be 3 years younger than the current Democratic presidential nominee. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell was just one of a number of Republicans who also spoke, giving his endorsement to Joe Biden.
The values I learned growing up in the South Bronx and serving in uniform were the same values that Joe Biden's parents instilled in him in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I support Joe Biden for the presidency of the United States because those values still define him.
I have always loved the sounds.
The keynote on Tuesday was the nominee's wife, Jill Biden, who outlined what she thought her husband would deliver for America.
Leadership to reimagine what our nation will be. That's Joe. He and Kamala will work as hard as you do every day to make this nation better.
Wednesday will see Vice Presidential pick Kamala Harris deliver her speech. That role is normally to attack the opposition, to hit them and hit them hard. And this time will be no different. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. The Gambia Transport Union expressed frustration over 19 of their trucks that have been seized while conveying timber, indicating that for over 3 months, Senegalese soldiers had the trucks unlawfully, and the Brikama Magistrate Court made an order for the vehicles to be released, while the matter of the timber continues before the court. But since 16 July to date, those vehicles are in custody. The union urges the government to release the trucks or face strong retaliation. The United States Ambassador Pascal indicated that his country remained committed to supporting countries in their fight against the global COVID-19 pandemic, including the Gambia. He said this while handing over $765,000 worth of sanitation supply through the KANIFING Municipal Council to support their efforts to combat the virus. Banjul City Council, under the leadership of Mayor Rohim Malik Low, received 500 face masks from Mr. Modu Musanjai of Havdai as part of his effort to complement the laudable initiative initiated by the City Council. In the international scene, soldiers in Mali have forced President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta to resign. Military leaders say they will form a transitional civilian-led government and organize what they call credible election. The West Africa Regional Bloc ECOWAS has condemned the coup. South Africa's government has warned that the coronavirus crisis could cost the job of 400,000 workers, and that is just in the tourism industry. 5 months of lockdown restrictions are being eased, but the tourism industry will take years to recover. The U.S. Democratic Party has formally nominated former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden as the presidential nominee. It happened on the second night of its national convention, with it being held virtually because of coronavirus. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.